Good afternoon, everybody. This is Anchi, and this is our Friday afternoon chair yoga class. So today I have planned basically a practice that starts with the upper body and then a lot of work towards the end towards core strength, especially in the low back area. So I'm not envisioning using any other prop than the chair, but if you need to modify for yourself, you can have your props ready for modifications. There is going to be a tricky transition with the chair from a plank into a side plank. So you want to make sure your chair is stable. So no unsteady chairs. All right, so we're going to get started with some work for the face. So one of the things that some of us might be noticing with wearing masks is that the jaw is getting tight and the facial muscles feel a little tense. So we're going to do some movements to release the face. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll actually move the eyes. Okay, so from here, just have a neutral neck, neutral eyes. And then explore looking over to the right side, just with your eyes, without your head. And then look over in a gentle amount over to your left side. And then just holding that. And notice how when you look over to the left, your neck wants to engage and your neck wants to turn. And just rest, okay? And then just go side to side, looking left, looking right. And then if the feeling arises to sigh, to yawn, let that happen. So if you're joining us, we are doing eye exercises to start. So we're looking right and left right now to relax the eye muscles, but also the cranial nerves that innervate the eyes. Okay, good. And then look up at 12 o'clock, look down at 6 o'clock. And again, just with your eyes, and just move like that about 10 times up and down. Just an easy movement. You might notice sighing wanting to happen, and so don't keep, you can just let the sighs happen. Good. And then try to make a circle with your gaze. So you're making a clockwise circle with your gaze. And then go in the other direction with your clockwise circle with your eyes looking only. And I can totally feel how my neck muscles want to engage. And we'll let that happen, but for now, just the eyes. And then again, let any release happen. And then when you're ready, go ahead and look back to the right with your eyes first, and then let your neck rotate along with your eyes over to the right, nice and easy. Take a breath here, and then let your eyes lead, turning back to center. And then let your eyes lead over to the left, and then let your neck follow, comfortable amount. And then coming back to center. And then just do those rotations a few more times. So loosening up in the neck, the eyes. And as the nervous system begins to recalibrate here, you might notice wanting to sigh, wanting to yawn, wanting to wiggle a little bit, and just don't suppress those urges. Okay, and then look up with your eyes, and then let your neck follow a comfortable amount. Look down with your eyes and let your neck follow, finding that hinging or rolling, rocking motion of your AO joint. So for those of you who are arriving, we're starting out with the face first today to loosen up some of the tension that might be happening because of all of our face masks wearing. Good. One more round. So looking with the eyes, moving with the eyes, and then the neck. Good. And then come back to neutral. And we're going to do a stretch on the jaw and the facial muscles with this breath. It's basically kind of making fish faces. So you're kind of pursing your lips and you're puffing up your face. So that helps to stretch the jaw, the facial muscles. So it's like, and that's your exhale. And you're just kind of blowing the air out through your chipmunk cheeks, and just feel how it stretches your face, and feel, you know, the sensations in your whole upper body with that breath. Another way to make it to do this is you can make a sound with it, so that it actually helps to loosen up the jaw and the face even more. So you could do an O sound with it. So it's like, and that vibration helps to basically relax the face and the jaw even more. And just let little movements happen. Don't be rigid. Good. And then go ahead and take your hands to your jaw. And maybe some sigh out, and just massage the masseter, the jaw. You can, you know, do any kind of little movements. Massage up into your temples. And then massage your earlobes. You can rub your earlobes. You can pull on them. There might be tension there from the straps of the mask. And again, yawn, sigh as you need to. And then just massage out that whole temple area as well. Good. Come back to that puffed O sound for one more round. And just land and feel your whole face again after that sequence. And then let's move down and loosen up the middle back. So you can turn, palms up. We'll do the dive and rise, since it's a great way to just focus movement there. So you can pull and just naturally sense what happens to your middle back when you pull your elbows back. And then you could do a mini dive first. So just with the upper body, letting that upper body round, and then pull and let that upper body, middle back area arch, and explore your dive. And you can gradually deepen it, maybe by an inch every time, so that you slow down and sense the movement in your spine and whatever's going on with your spine. So going down, maybe a little lower, pull, let your elbows lead rather than lead with your head and your neck. Okay. And then dive, and then you're welcome to go off center as well with your dive, so that your working your body at different angles. You're not just going straight forward every time. You can lean a little over to the right, to the left. And so you can go lower down as your body permits. Okay. Pull. One more dive, one more rise. And the next time when you come up, we'll start the movement into the shoulder. So you can internally rotate, exaggerate that action, and then externally rotate, internally rotate, and you can even allow a little flexion with your spine. Externally rotate, you can allow a little extension as it feels good for you. Good. I'm gonna see if I can mute us for better. Okay, and then start to make shoulder circles as well. And it's yogi's choice. So you could do the circles with the arms hanging. You could do the circles in the opulent version. So just getting some movement through these joints in the upper body. Go in the other direction with your circling. Good. And then we'll lower the hands down. And we're going to take awareness next into the lower body. So the abdomen, the side body. So we'll find the breath basically. So as you inhale, can you feel your breath move down your back body and down into your back, down into your belly? And then as you exhale, can you get a sense of the ribs, or actually the lower belly knitting in? So we need this stability from the abdomen in order to support the spine. So inhaling a sense of expansion, and then exhaling a sense of the lower body cinching in. And actually, like when we sit like this, when we inhale, it's easier to feel the expansion here in the ribs than down here. So it can be a little bit harder to get that expansion in the belly. And what you're after is this quality of the abdominals drawing in on its own on your exhale. And we want to ensure that this is happening before we add in some work on the QL. Okay, so one more breath, finding that inhalation expanding probably more easily here in the ribs. And then finding the exhalation, drawing your abdominal wall in all directions. Okay. And then you're going to take your hands to the waist on the right side. And dig around until you find your hip crest, so the bone here. And dig in until you find like a little tendon. Well, it's not little, it's kind of you know, it's easy to feel, and that is one of the attachments of your deep low back muscle called the quadratus lumborum. It's a side bending muscle. So see if you can side bend over to the right and see if you feel that muscle contract, and then come back out. Okay, one more time, side bend over to the right. and then come back out. Okay, we're going to lengthen and strengthen the QL on this right side. And how we're going to do that is we're going to move over so that our right sit bone is off the chair. And when it's off the chair, you might notice your belly turning on right away. Your belly has to cinch in so that you don't fall over, and it's going to work your QL as well. Okay, so you can hold on to the chair a little bit if you need some stability. Okay, we're going to lengthen the QL so you can let this hip drop, and then you're going to pull from your waist this hip up. Lower and lift. When you lift, can you feel shortening here and the abdominal wall work here? And lower and lift. So it's a side bend. Okay. And you want to feel abdominal wall. It's actually drawing in the whole time. Like here it's still working, but it's lengthening. Here it's shortening. Okay, so around 10 times this QL hip hiker, half on the chair, half off. Okay, good. And then hold, try to balance your two sit bones and lift your arms. And you might notice your upper abdominals turn on here to keep you on the chair. Okay, so lots of work. And then lift your right arm, hold on to your hip with your left hand, and then exhale, side bend away from the right side. Take another breath here. Good, and then on the exhale, we're gonna lift back up so that we have a little more core stability. So exhale, come back up. Whew. Hold on to your right hip here. It's a little more challenging. So this is the progression. If that was really hard, just stay that way, okay? If you want to add in a little more challenge, we're gonna side bend to the right side. And again, exhale, find that side bend. And I notice like I have to, everything is drawing in so strongly here so I don't fall off the chair. And I'm not going as deeply, because if I go as deeply, I'm gonna fall off. But I can feel my core working really hard. Okay, so that's the stability that we're after. And then lift back up on exhale, and then go ahead and put your bum back on the chair. Whew. Okay, take a pause and notice how this whole side probably feels a little bit more engaged, live than the side that hasn't worked yet. Okay, and then we're going to map out and feel left QL. So dig your thumb to your hip crest and poke around in there. Feel a tendon muscle, okay? And then see if you can side bend and notice any contraction in that space. Lift up, side bend. And as you side bend, you can focus not just on collapsing the shoulder down, but you can also imagine lifting the hip up, and you'll feel that engagement a little bit more. Okay, so lifting that hip up. Good. And then we're going to scooch, move so that our left bum is, the sit bone is off of the chair. Okay, and you might notice how when the sit bone is off, in order to like stay on the chair, your belly wall just turns on. Okay, and then let this hip drop a little more, and then hike this hip up. Lower and lift. So a regression here, if this is like, you know, hard, is you can just come back and have your bum on the chair and do the work this way. Okay, so this is a lot more load when the bum is off of the chair. So you're welcome to modify for your body. Good. So, and you know, so I'm noticing like I'm kind of cheating by doing this. So if you get your body upright, it's gonna be a lot harder. Lots of ways that we can cheat. Okay, And then hold, keep your two sit bones level, and stick your arms out. And you might notice how this turns on the upper abs as well. Good. And then hold on to your right hip, lift your left arm up, and when you exhale, side bend over to the left side. This is the easier side. Hang out, take a breath. And then exhale out as well, so that you have that engagement to stabilize you as you transition. So exhale up, lower the hand down. You can choose to go back that way if that was, already challenging your balance on the chair. Or if you're stable and you want to challenge yourself, switch sides. So obviously going towards the floating bum is going to be harder. So exhale, and you probably don't want to lean as much. Ooh. Yeah, and just notice how the whole lower body has to work. Good. And then come on up. Go ahead and scooch and put your bum back on the chair. Okay, spinal undulations to loosen things up. I'm going to turn around so you can see. Okay, so from here, feet wide, about shoulder width apart, a little bit wider. And then you can let your chin drop. So we're getting spinal flexion here. So you're diving with your hands on your thighs. Dive down, rounding your spine. And then when you hit the bottom for you, lengthen from your waist, lengthen from your middle back, and lengthen your neck without straining it. And so you're rising up with more of a spinal extension. Push, rise up. Tuck your tail, round your spine, and dive down. Spinal flexion. And then push, pull with your hands, your feet. Come up with a long spine. And tuck your tail, round, dive down. And then lengthen your spine. Rise up. Okay, another round going in this direction. Rounding to come down. Lengthening without straining your neck to come up. And then we're going to reverse. So next time when you're up, instead of rounding to go down, we're going to keep the extension. So keeping your spine neutral, hinge from your hip, coming down with extension. And then when you hit your end point, draw your belly in, tuck your tail, round your spine, and roll it up. And then extend, hinge, lower with a straight spine at your end point. Draw your belly in, tuck your tail, let your chin move towards your chest, and then stack your vertebrae and come up. So finding your kind of undulating spine through these forward folds in the chair. So loosening up the back muscles that way. One more round. And then next time when you come up, take a pause. Good. And from here, we'll start to enliven and get into the feet. So we'll get ankle movement first, so you can roll your feet forward and back through the rolling feet seesaws. So you're lifting your heels up, lifting your toes up, and just feeling that work through your ankles, tops of your feet, rolling through the feet, forward and back. And then roll, press down on the inner edge of your feet. Press down through the outer edge of your feet from your ankles. So activating the muscles on the sides of the ankles. Good. Couple more rounds of the rolling feet seesaw sideways. Okay. And then we'll land with the feet wider. Actually, let's do a variation so that we get some activation of the hips in different ranges. So get your right foot just straight in line with your hip forward. And then open up your right hip as wide as is comfortable, like no force. And then just lean forward. Notice your abdominal wall drawing in. And then push and just lift your bum off of the floor with neutral neck. And then lower down. Okay. And then move your right foot in a new place. Hinge. Feel your abdominal wall turn on. Push. Lift. You can lift up all the way too. And then hinge down. And then keep moving this right foot around into a new place so that you're awakening your hip stability at various angles on this right side. Okay, so coming down. Try to find a new place that you haven't tried on the floor. Hinge, press, lift, and hinge back, lower down. Just gonna try to find a new place. Lift, inhale down, exhale up, inhale. So keep varying where you're placing your foot and just noticing, oh, okay, it's a lot harder when I have a foot further away. Okay. And what I notice is it's the left leg that's doing most of the work. But the right is getting to, open up and move into different joint spaces. Good. All right, let's switch sides. So when you come back down, put the right leg in neutral in terms of like knee in line with the hip. And then you're gonna move your left leg into new positions. Okay, so we could go wide. And again, we want to find our natural core strength. So be mindful when you shift forward that you feel your belly wall go in and then push down on exhale, come up. Inhale, come down. Okay. So play. Try to put this foot in a new place every time. Good. And then the last three, go ahead and go for symmetrical positioning with your two legs and feet. And notice how the symmetrical positioning feels. Good. And we'll meet up. Take a pause, put a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. And just notice how all these movements are tracking in your nervous system. How does it feel right now? The quality of your body, the quality of your breathing. And just keep tuning in and asking your body what it needs throughout the practice. Okay. We'll come and face the chair and do our chair vinyasa sequence and focusing on that work with core stability, low back. So you can face the seat of the chair, you can find your squat, hinge from your hip, and then place the hands on the seat of the chair, and then you can walk back. So we'll walk back, and you want to land with your hips roughly above your ankles, and you can stretch your hips back just to lengthen through your back. And breathe into this kind of a down dog variation. Okay. And then when you're ready, shift your hips over to the right, shift your hips over to the left, and feel how that relates through into the back of your legs, your hamstrings, your hips. And then have your, so try to come more shoulders above the hands. I'm gonna walk back a little bit, and then knees a little bit softer. We're gonna find a side bend in that QL. So from here, take your attention, so neutral neck, neutral spine as best as you can. So, you know, not too rounded, not too arched, but a little bit more in the arch position. And then hike your right hip up towards your right shoulder and look towards your hip. So you're side bending your neck as well. So can you feel that contraction in that waist? And then stretch back to center. Hike your left hip up towards your shoulder down towards your hip, and try to look towards your hip. So side bending from the neck too. And then come out. And then side bend to the right. So hip hike and come back. And finding that side bend, side to side. It might take a little practice to find that contraction in that waist. So the tendency is we might just kind of move our hips only like this, kind of wagging the, moving the hips a lot. But it's really a lift, a hike of the hip rather than a sway of the hip. Okay, that activation in your waist muscle that we palpated earlier. Okay. Good. One more time through your side winder action here. And then stretch your back out in symmetry. Breathe into the sensation, the awakening of that deep low back area. And then bend your knees more, squat your dog. And then shift forward, plank pose. Okay. And then shift back, squat your dog, bend those knees, stretch your back out more, pull your sit bones up and back. And then shift, stack your shoulders above your hands, have your body straight like a board, and shift back. Progression here, if this is, you're feeling pretty good here, towards your plank, you can make it more challenging by lifting one foot up, shift back. You can shift forward and lift the other foot up. So variations for your body. Okay, and then next time when you migrate with the right, so when you go forward, we're going to lift the right knee towards the right elbow. Drop back, squat, left knee, left elbow, feel your belly draw in, step back. This this is where props, like if this is bothering your wrists, you could grab your blocks and grip your blocks. It's gonna make things a little higher, but not as much pressure on your wrist, okay? And then next progression, when you have your right leg forward, hover, take a breath here, and then step your foot out, side, it's a lunge position with the feet out, and then shift your weight into your feet, and we'll rise up. And we're just gonna make big circles through the chest here, circle in the other direction. You can shake it out too if you feel tension through the chest. Move the wrists, okay? And then lift into warrior one. Arms could be up, could be with the elbows bent like this. And then press your feet down, stretch your mat apart. Good, and then hold on to your hip of the front leg. Reach your arm up, side bend to your right side, and then lean forward a little bit so you feel your QL on the left side stretch a little bit more. You can play around with the angle of your forward fold, side bend, so that you find that stretch through that left side of your body. Okay, take another breath here. And then lift your body back to neutral. Place your hands down on your chair. Step back into your squat dog. And then your pace, coming back towards your plank. Coming back to your squat. About 5 times with either the feet down, or you can lift a foot up at the end if you want in the plank. Good. And then start to transition towards lifting a knee and trying to tap towards the elbow, let your upper back round. And then step back, squat dog, lift, opposite knee to same side elbow. So just keep alternating the lift of your feet. Do another round, and then when you get over to stepping, lifting the left knee, hover for a breath with the left knee up. Feel your belly turn on, and then step that foot out. Extend into your lunge position. Ground your feet, shift your weight to your feet, and then explore. Just releasing any tension through your chest, through your shoulders, through your wrists, through your arms. Good. And then transition towards warrior one arm in whatever variation you like. And I love this one because it feels a lot more relaxing on the breath for me. Okay, so stay. Charge your feet down. Try to rip your mat or your floor apart with your feet. Good, and then place your left hand on your left hip. Reach your right arm up. Squeeze your outer hips towards midline as you side bend over to the left side. And then the attention is over on the QL on the right side. And so you can kind of, it's towards the side body, but towards the back side of the side body. So you would feel a stretch more if you kind of fold, or you kind of forward fold a little bit as you side bend. And just explore the angle where you feel that stretch here. and then lift back up, and then hands back on your chair, and we'll step back. Stretch out in this dog variation first, so hardly any load in your hands for now, okay? The load is more in your feet. Just get a passive back stretch. Breathe into here. And then we're gonna move, basically transitioning here from plank into a side plank. So this is where you want to place your hands well on your chair. So let's say I'm going to transition to side plank on the left side. I have to place my left hand in the center of my chair, and then I'm going to swivel and turn and balance, okay? My chair is kind of unstable, so if I don't place my hands well, it can tip. So you have to make sure you're, careful. If this doesn't feel good for your body, you can come up and you can explore just side bending, coming into, this could be your, air plank, and then side bending. Okay, so that's the regression. The more progressed version is plank, and then right hand in the center of your chair, swivel your feet, and then find your side plank. And you can play around with the arms. It could be right by your body for less, loading, or you can reach it to add more load. And then you turn, you find your plank. You can move between plank, squat dog 3 times. And then you play and find your balance, find your stability on your chair, and side plank. Whew. Good. So do another sequence of that wherever you're at. So this air plank is actually pretty cool. You can, like here, if you pull your arms down, and you'll feel that engagement in your core. So it's still a lot of work. And then you can transition, so more into a side bend, plank, side bend, plank. And then actually this is one way to find the side bend, is you could lower one hand, okay, and then pretend like there's resistance, push this hand as you rotate, and you'll feel your core work. So imaginary resistance, coming back, lowering, push both arms. This is going into an imaginary floor. This is going into an imaginary friend, and rotate. Good. And then we'll meet in standing. Shake it out. Good. And come back to your chair. We'll use the squats to come down. And your choice, come back to the spinal undulation that we did before, or you can just do more like cat-cow, cat-cow in chair. Spinal undulation would be a little bit more movement through the body, so you can dive, flexion, extend, push, rise. So just mobilizing the spine in a more organic way after we did all that, strengthening work. Okay, and then the undulation, first round is you could round as you go down, extend as you come up. second round is you can extend, so being long in your spine as you come down. And then when you come up, you can round and coil your spine, and then also stack it, and then at the end, extend it again. So finding that capacity for organic movement through your spine. Good. And then we'll land back in a sitting position. This is my new favorite chair pose. So you're going to extend your right leg out wide, bending your left knee. Gotta move over, move back a little more. And then you're putting your hand on this bent knee side, and we're lengthening through the extended leg, and you're forward folding towards the bent knee side. Okay, so you're coming down, so the load goes down through the heel here, and it's a forward fold. Stretch that right hand, reach it forward to lengthen through the side body here. And take some breaths here into the long side of your torso. And then explore lifting that right hand and sliding it underneath the chair, out behind that left leg. And then rotate your body and lift that arm out to the side. And then rotate your body back towards the ground and reach that hand over to your left side. Okay, rotating and reaching. So you can feel a lot of abdominal work towards this end, and then reaching out. And then next time when you lift that arm out, back to that right side, feel your belly turn on, lift up. Take a pause. I will do that on the second side. So right knee bent, left leg more straight. Okay, and you can kind of roughly line the feet up with each other and shift your weight, hinge your back over towards the right side. Right hand on the right thigh, reach the left hand out, forward fold. Take some breaths here. Good, and then lift that left hand, palm up, and reach it between the leg and the chair. So you feel like your body is twisting towards that right leg. And then reach that arm out to the left side and rotate that other way. And then keep exploring, reaching underneath your leg, and then opening out. Can you feel your abdominal wall stabilizing you here? And then next time when you're lifting that left arm, lift the whole body up. Good. Take the feet back and forward fold in symmetry. Stretch your arms out. Breathe into here. So follow your breath. Let your inhale massage through your middle back. Let your exhale soften your abdominal wall. At the end of your exhale, nudge a little bit more of the stale air out through your nose, like you're blowing a candle out through your nose, and see if that allows you to empty a little bit more. Okay, so let's try that 2-part exhale here for 3 rounds. Okay, so you're finding your inhale here in your middle back. Normal exhale first. And then nudge a little bit more of the exhale out. Feel your belly pull in as you blow a candle out through your nose. And then relax your belly. Let your inhale come in. Yep, so we're still doing this in the forward fold. It actually will awaken that abdominal contraction a little bit more easily. And last progression. Next time when you exhale out that second time, pause, no breathing, suspend your breath for as long as is comfortable for your body. Okay, stay there and relax into this transition point between breaths where you're completely empty. Notice how it feels for your nervous system to be empty. Notice how it feels to be in a transition place. And then listen to your body. When your body needs to breathe, go ahead and let it breathe. And then roll your spine up. Okay. Land here in this new moment and feel the nervous system. Notice that sense of the electrical charge of the nervous system, that sense of pulsation. How did these movements land in your body, in your breath? And you find a comfortable resting pose of your choice. So could be leaning back to the chair. If you're motivated to lie down, whatever is a rest pose for you. And just checking in, noticing the quality of your face again. And we're going to come back to that puffed O or that bubble breath. So we'll do that 3 times. That's kind of like the cherry on top of the practice. And the point of it is to feel your facial muscles, to feel how that stretches through and the level of tension that's going on. So you want to slow it down, just to feel all that space in the face. So again, you're kind of puffing up your cheeks and you're blowing the air out, the exhale out with pursed lips. So you can do it without sound, but I find it to be much more powerful with sound. So you can add the so the sounding adds another level of percussion and vibration that helps to loosen up and relax the face, the neck, the jaw better. And if as you do this, your body might tell you it wants to make little movements, it might want to yawn. So there can be impulses, reflexes that arise. So follow that. those 5 rounds of that bubble breath, go ahead and rest. And just landing back into this place where you are effortless. There's nothing left to do. Just rest back into your seat and receive your natural breathing. Receive the sensations of your body. Notice how something as simple as the breath can be incredibly sensual, incredibly pleasurable if we slow down and savor it. So, giving thanks for this gift of inspiration and expiration that is effortlessly moving through you. And then begin to follow your exhalation more closely. Noticing what happens at the end of your exhalation before your next breath. So answering this inquiry from the felt sense rather than from your mind. So feeling that exhalation, feeling into that transition point. And once you've felt that transition between your breaths, see if it's possible for you to surrender, relax into that pause, into that space. So can you allow the mind to drop into this depth of that pause? When you're ready, place your hands on your body in any place that feels nourishing and supportive for you. And again, simply receive yourself in this new moment. Notice the qualities of your dynamic self now. So the body, the breath, the mental, the emotional space, they're always changing. And then notice the aspect of you that is unchanging. you can always rest back into this place. And we'll join the hands together at the heart. Take a full breath to heart center, and you can bow your head to your heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. And